Okay, if you're a business owner or an advisor, you know the pressure to stay ahead is just relentless. But what's the one thing that really separates the true innovators from, well, everyone else? It's all about a commitment to continuous learning. So we're going to break down why this isn't just some nice-to-have habit, it's a core business strategy. So let's just kick things off with a pretty direct question, and I want you to be really honest with yourself here. Are you truly innovating fast enough? Or maybe, just maybe, have you gotten a little too comfortable with how things are right now? You know, this quote from Jeff Armstrong really just sets the stakes perfectly. The message is crystal clear. In today's business world, learning isn't a luxury. It's a survival mechanism. Plain and simple. If you fall behind, you risk becoming completely irrelevant. All right, so let's dive into the biggest pitfall for successful people. It's this really subtle but incredibly dangerous thing called stagnation. Jeff Armstrong actually has a great name for this from his own experience. He calls it the trap of just doing. You know what I'm talking about? It's that hamster wheel of daily operations. You're so busy putting out fires and getting things done that you stop looking forward, you stop innovating, and most importantly, you stop learning. Sound familiar at all? And look, this kind of mindset, it has some serious consequences. You get trapped by that super dangerous phrase, "This is the way we've always done it." And while you're stuck, more agile competitors are just blowing right past you. You fail to adapt to absolute game changers like AI. And the ultimate risk here is obsolescence, becoming a fossil. So the big question is, how do you escape this trap? Well, it's not just about learning more stuff. It requires a huge shift in your mindset. And this brings us to a really cool concept from Scott Snyder called purposeful growth. So what in the world is purposeful growth? Well, according to Snyder, it's a deliberate, intentional strategy for growth across all parts of your life. And here's the key. Notice it's not just professional development. It's about your leadership skills, your health, your finances. It's about becoming a better, more well-rounded human being. This chart really highlights the massive shift in thinking. On the one hand, you've got the old way, going to random conferences, learning reactively, and seeing it all as just another business cost. But on the other side, you have the purposeful approach. Every single learning activity is part of a bigger plan. It's proactive, and you see it as an investment with a real measurable return. Okay, so we've got the why down. Now let's get practical and talk about the how. Here's a powerful little toolkit of learning methods that you can start using right away to put this whole purposeful growth thing into action. So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, our experts point to 4 really powerful models. First up, peer groups, so you can tap into the wisdom of others in a totally confidential setting. Second, coaching and mentorship, learning from people who have already walked the path. Third is something Jeff Armstrong calls scheduled curiosity, where you literally block off time in your calendar just for deep thinking and innovation. And finally, this one is fascinating, brain health training, using neuroscience to actually sharpen your strategic mind. I really want to zoom in on peer groups for a second, because this quote from Tina Corner-Stolz is just so spot on. The magic here isn't some teacher lecturing at you. No, the power comes from the collective brain power of the group itself. It's about learning with people, not just from them, in a safe space where you can talk about the real deal challenges you're facing. But does all this effort actually pay off? Let's talk about the bottom line, right? The very real and often surprising return on investment you get from this kind of deep, intentional learning. You gotta love this title, right? Gerald Kepner tells this amazing story that started with a famous study on nuns and cognitive decline. He got so inspired by it that he brought brain health training into his own firm, and the results, honestly, they were jaw-dropping. And here is the proof in the numbers. Profits? Doubled. 2x. Revenue jumped 25%. And get this, the senior partner cut his own work time by a third. And they did all of this without adding a single new client. That's just incredible proof that investing in your team's brains is a hardcore business strategy. But listen, the return on this investment isn't just measured in dollars and cents. The benefits go so much deeper than the profit and loss statement, because the return, it's also deeply human. This is such a powerful quote from Renee Russo, and it comes from her own incredibly tough experience of a double exit, from her marriage and her business at the same time. Her story is just this incredible testament to the fact that our most profound growth often comes from our hardest moments. The key takeaway here is that this kind of learning isn't just about business tactics. It's about building the personal resilience you need to lead through anything life throws at you. So let's bring this all home. We've looked at the dangers of standing still, the strategies for real growth, and the incredible returns, both on the balance sheet and in your personal life. It all boils down to one last critical question. Are you truly ready for what's coming next? And this brings us to a really critical point for the future from Chris Snyder. In a world that's changing this fast, you just can't know everything yourself. It's impossible. Success is no longer just about what you know, but who you know. Your community, your peer groups, your network. That is your true net worth. And that leaves us with this final stark warning. It's really a choice. You can be on the side of innovation, adaptation, and growth, or you can be on the side that gets left behind. The market doesn't care about your feelings. It simply rewards action. So at the end of the day, this all comes back to you. After everything we've talked about, the question isn't really about time or money. It's a simple, profound choice. Are you willing to commit to lifelong learning, or are you willing to risk being left behind? The choice is yours.